What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Down to Business segment of the Screw Up Show. You're on with Mon,
And with Don,
and we have invited a guest here with us to talk about her online business. So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Faustine Isaac from Hey Faustine.
All right. Great to
welcome
have you
to
on
the
the show.
show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I think the first thing that we want to ask is like, how and why did you start your business? I'm assuming you started during COVID. Yes, was it
Yeah.
during COVID? Okay. So
During
was it
COVID.
like you found this passion for doing like crochet and you were like, damn, these look good. I want to sell them. Maybe people will buy, and then you put them online, and then boom, people started buying.
Yeah, because I originally started the account as just generally an art account. Because I wanted to first like learn how to draw and everything. Because I'm an art management student, so I kind of felt like, oh, I have to get into the arts a little bit more. For my practice and for my studies. But then like I knew a few friends that crocheted, and like my best friend would crochet. And so that kind of inspired me or like motivated me to kind of get into that also. Because I love working with my hands a lot more than like drawing or painting actually. So kind of I veered towards that pretty early on in the pandemic. And I think I just had so much fun with it because it was really a way to like make your own clothes or to just kind of have fun with like the textures and also even just like the act of crocheting. I think I really just enjoyed that, like working with my hands again. And then I started posting it on my art account, and then people were really into it. They kind of saw that they wanted it for themselves, or at least like some people would reach out to me like, oh, are you doing like made to order things? Are you doing commissions? So I think that's kind of how I got started, like with commissions, because I kind of saw that there was slowly like a market of people reaching out to me until eventually, I opened up like the tiny shop of Hey Faustine, and I started to focus really on crochet than other art stuff. So that's kind of how I started. I just really enjoyed it, and people saw it, and I was like, well, I might as well also.
Yeah,
Because,
make money. Why not?
make
Right?
money. Why not?
During
No more
COVID pa.
allowance. There's no more allowance when you're home. So yeah, that's how.
Yeah, di ba?
Yeah.
Kudos to you starting your own business, di ba? And yung mga business mo nga, yung crochet, di ba? Yung clothing and all that, accessories. It's really cool, di ba? You don't really see that like much compared to like actual plain like clothes, di ba?
Yeah.
So yeah, and well, starting a business during COVID is no joke. I mean, it's a completely different like beast compared to
Yeah.
doing a business before the pandemic. So you're able to go out and all that and handle everything and whatnot. And can I ask, are you like alone in the business? Like, do you have any partners?
It was really me. But I
Mm.
did sometimes ask for like tips or advice from my siblings because I'm the one, so and they were of course very supportive of that. I think yun nga, so I would ask them like, oh, is there like a time na I should post, or like, oh, what do you think
Mm.
about these photos? Ganon, like should I redo them or things like that. But most of the time, it's really just me. I'm the one that makes it. I'm the one that packs it. I'm the one that ships it out. I run the page alone. So it was really just my own little project. And yeah, I think I had a lot to figure out, especially in the beginning. But a few months into it, you kind of get the hang of it, and things become a lot smoother. So yeah.
Props to you for mostly doing this on your own also, and something that requires a lot of hands-on work. It's not
Yeah.
like mass produced. It's literally you just doing it.
It's
So is it
literally
made
just
to order
me.
talaga, or you have a lot ready and then you show people that, oh, these are available?
It's made to order. But of course, before I even opened the shop, I really had to experiment, and I really had to try out those kinds of things. Because I started with bralettes and or like crop tops. And of course, it's all like size. It's about like different sizes. So you had to research all of those things. Like I'd go up on YouTube, like how big are these cups supposed to be? I have no idea. And so, sometimes I'd make some for my sister for free just so that she could try it because we're different sizes. So I had to kind of get the hang of that first. But everything else was really made to order. They could choose the pattern, they could choose the colors from the selection that I gave them. And yeah, I kind of give them a timeline. So that's how it would go. Yeah.
Yeah, grabe talaga everything that goes into a business, diba? It's really a process. It's not like just
Yeah.
selling stuff. It's also doing research, diba? Handling
Yeah.
the technical stuff, logistics and all that, production, diba? So,
Yeah.
I mean, so how is a day like for you, managing your business, diba? I mean, what do you do and all that? And, maybe you can add on then some insights of like how it's like to do a business, manage a
Mm-hmm.
business during COVID, diba? Kasi mahirap
Yeah.
yan for sure.
A day in a life. We begin with Instagram. I kind of
Don't we all?
yeah, any life really. Going to Instagram, checking other designers and creators, like seeing, oh, is this something that I like? Is this something that I want to make for myself? I kind of have this notebook. I feel like over the past 2 years, I've expended like at least two notebooks, like front and back of like sketches or designs or just like a lot of math apparently goes
Mhm.
into crochet. And so I had to go through all of those. So, I'd start with Instagram. I would see if I have any messages. I'd get to crocheting most of the time. I'd spend maybe 3 to 4 hours in a day just crocheting.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's a
So
long
that
time.
would, yeah, it's a lot of time. And it would usually take me at least 3 sittings to finish one piece for any client. And maybe more depending also on like how big the project is, or the scale or the size or something. But yeah, so I'd spend a lot of time just sitting down crocheting, which would usually mean that I'm watching shows, but most of the time it's just music and podcasts with me. And then after that, now after you finish a piece, which is just the best feeling ever, so you still have to pack it, and then you ship it out. I had to like go through a couple of couriers because, like I think even in the beginning it was hard to find like one that you find that really reliable or one that you just
Mhm.
like prefer the most. Because you also don't want to make your clients like spend too much on shipping and everything. So you really have to go through all of that. I used to time how long it took me to do some things because um when I would like try to canvas like prices or like benchmark from other crochet stores, mostly local, I was like, that's pretty cheap considering there's a lot of labor to go into that. So I would like time it. I kind of gave myself a rate, plus all of the other expenses and things going on. So that's kind of how I did it. Um, but this with crochet, you also really need to rest like a lot. Like you can't just keep making every single day. Because it's actually physically tasking. So
Yeah,
you
it
have to
must
rest.
be, and like that must hurt your hands after a while.
Yeah, like I would get carpal tunnel.
Oh
And I'm like,
shit.
I'm too young for this. So you had to learn all of those things, but it's kind of part of the job. And yeah, I think at some point, like within the past 2 years, I kind of learned better how to manage like my time and like my strength, and like how much clients I want in a month and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, especially since it's a very like hands-on business nga, diba? You're actually
Yeah.
crocheting,
Yeah.
diba? It definitely takes time. I mean, what more if you get like so many orders, diba? Tapos
Yeah.
just piling up
It's
there,
just
diba?
backed up, and then you're like, oh, it's gonna take
You're
like a
like, I
month.
have to make all of these. Yeah. Because the way that I would do it is I'd open it per month.
Mhm.
So I'd say like I'd have like, oh, I want this many slots for April. And then so I open that and then people would like come in, or sometimes I'd like have a wait list because especially in the first year, I was kind of overwhelmed with how many orders I was getting and I knew I couldn't you know, have everyone with me. So I had those slots open. It kind of varied per month, especially in the beginning because I was still getting used to it and I still had to deal with online classes. I mean, I
Mhm.
still am. But yeah, so I had to do that and then I'd have a wait list. So I go through all of those orders. Um, and yeah, you really just I feel like at now it's just kind of a habit, or like I don't even have to think about it now. I'm spending this much time in my day just crocheting, and doing all of that. So yeah, there's a lot. You have to like find like weekdays or weekends to just not crochet. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Something like that, I think, requires like extra work, especially since you're kind of the one doing all of it also,
Yeah,
and you're managing your
yeah.
socials and all of that. Like it's a one woman business. It's
One
kind
woman
of
business.
like
Yeah, because this isn't the type now you can just outsource it or like get someone else to do it.
yeah, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my best friend, I also encouraged her to make a crochet business also. So she does that also. It's like Lolas of Manila. And then but then she does it with her sister who also
Cool
crochets.
name.
So at least they're
Oh,
like
that's pretty cool.
two people. Yeah, Lolas of Manila. They're very nice. Like, because that's also what we used to call ourselves in like high school and college. Because all of our like hobbies were very pang lola, like crochet.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I like it. I don't think my crochet is for lolas.
Yeah, diba?
And I mean, there's a lot of potential, I think, to grow up
Mm-hmm.
because like your pieces are becoming very diverse. Like I saw you made a hood. Like you have
Yeah,
like bucket hats. Like that's so dope. I like
That's dope.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I
do you
think the
have
guys, yeah.
oh go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I think the guys, that's usually always what they get from me, like the buckets.
Oh, so they're
The
unisex, like
yeah,
the
yeah.
hats.
The hats are
Interesting,
unisex.
yo.
It's bucket hats, man. I
That'd
Yeah,
be
mean,
so
man.
no, but like I thought
yeah.
it was just like for the size of a girl's head, because like I
Mm,
didn't
no,
think
I
that there
mean,
were
yeah,
yeah, because you know how some hats are like really sick for guys
yeah, yeah.
like that.
But I think that's what's like really great about crochet, in general, is that you make it to
It,
your size.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think because especially it's one of the things that got me started, which is the fact that I had like a hard time shopping online, and I had a hard time like finding clothes that fit me like the way I wanted it to fit me. And when you do crochet, you're in control of everything. So
Mhm.
you choose exactly how you want it to be. And so yeah, there are even some designs and some patterns that I made kind of based off of clothes that I already had, that I'm like, I want more of this. So I just make my own. So I think that's one of the cool things about this hobby and this craft. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of room, I think, to grow. So, looking
Mm-hmm.
into the future, because you've been doing this for like a while now. Do
Mm-hmm.
you have any plans to like maybe expand it? Like if you were given the opportunity to have your own like physical
Mm-hmm.
store, would you do it?
Oh my gosh. I think I've always wanted to like join those like pop-up stores or
Yeah.
things that
Mm,
like yung mga bazaars and things, and set up my own
yeah.
little booth. I think I've always wanted
Oh.
to do that. Yeah. I have peers in crochet that have done that, or like I see them do it because I know them from abroad, like they're in like
Hmm.
Singapore or Hong Kong and things like that, and I know that they join their own things. I'm like, I want to do that. Like that sounds cool. So yeah, I think that's something that if given the opportunity, I'd do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
make bank and bazaars for sure. Like
Yeah.
people
And
eat that
people
shit up,
can.
man. When they hear
They
pop
do.
up, they're like, damn, I want that.
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. And the thing about it is just like everything is one of a kind. So
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
ask
yeah.
So
for
now no
more.
two people have the same
Mm-hmm.
like piece, right? Even if they have the
Yeah.
matching like hat or like top, it's not gonna be same fit, not gonna be like exactly the
Yeah,
same colors.
exactly. So yeah, I think that's really fun.
Yeah. And like, for future, tawag dito, in the future, diba, room for like growth, diba, in the business, since online siya, diba, you can also like make use of the alam mo na, social media, diba, asking
Yeah.
people what they want to see in the future,
Mm-hmm.
diba. You can like make polls, diba, surveys and
Mm-hmm.
all that, but what do you want to see in the future and whatnot, diba? Kasi syempre, some people might want to like have different kinds of like clothing or accessories, diba, na
Mm-hmm.
crochet, diba? So ayun,
Yeah.
there's definitely many room for growth in the future for you, and we wish you the best of luck, diba? So
Thank
yeah,
you.
hopefully it just
Yeah.
skyrockets
Actually,
pa from there.
actually, one of the ways that I've found out um that I think is even more sustainable than my original practice of like crochet is that I would sell patterns now. And I think now
Mm,
that's even the bulk of like my income or bulk of like the business is me selling patterns online, like through Etsy, Ko-fi, even
mm,
like through DM, like people would ask me. Cause yun, like there's only so much you can make in a week or in a month, like on your own. But you get that stream also of people buying the patterns that you make so that they can make it themselves. So I think that's one of the things now
True.
I've expanded into, especially last year when I started doing that. So yeah, selling patterns has just been really cool and really fun, and it also allowed me to connect and reach out to other crochet artists. Because if you look, the community's really grown. It's really nothing like it was in 2020 when I felt like we were only like a handful of people, and now a
mhm.
lot of people are here, and so
Yeah,
it's been really cool. So yeah, that's one
yeah.
way.
That's good to know, no, yung having a community na. It's very
Yeah,
important. You guys can like, reach out, give advice, help each other, collabs even, diba? So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking of
Sometimes
like,
oh
yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, sometimes we do have collabs, or at least one thing. I'm joining like a pattern giveaway. For example, if we're a
Mm,
bunch of us and we give away patterns, and it's like good for all of us. But yeah, it's like when you make a pattern, you have to get like testers. So you really like people will reach out to you. They're like, hey, I want to test your pattern, and so they also on their profiles get to promote your page and your pattern, and it's that kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of how we connect as a community also.
Yeah, and that's how you meet so many new people, right? And potential like clients also and partners. I mean, the whole world is kind
Mm-hmm.
of blowing up with influencers right now, and
Yeah.
businesses to complement them, right?
You know, Nadine Lustre like wore a crochet thing by this like, crochet brand I knew. And it was
Shit,
just so
mm,
sweet.
nice.
Like, yeah, like a lot of people are doing like even abroad, like other like American celebrities that like wear crochet now. So it was like a
ooh,
really thing. Or even K-pop. I think there was a time na like a K-pop group was like in an
That's
all
pretty cool.
crochet thing. And so yeah, yeah, it's definitely blowing up now. So that's
the
cool.
new trend right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think for a lot of our audience, because by this point we've interviewed I don't know how many influencers and models already, but they've become part of who our audience is now. And I think the first thing that they wonder whenever they see a business online is like what it's like to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like even before. And I think that's part of why we wanted to do this kind of business segment to
Mm-hmm.
give people a heads up, like our watchers, like a heads up of how it's like to work with all these businesses that we have on our show. And to kind of give them also potential to get in touch with us if ever they want to work with you guys right on the
Mm-hmm.
business end. So how do you go about doing collabs with people, even if you haven't done any yet? Like how would you go
Oh,
about doing it? How would they get in touch with you?
Mm,
yeah, people usually I'm very open in my DMs. Like I try to respond to everything. I've worked with this designer, and he would say like, "Oh, I want to do a few of these things," and he'd give me like pegs or sketches, and I'm like, "Yeah, I can totally do that." And then it's just about figuring out all of those little details together, like the colors, the fit. I'm gonna need their measurements, and of course, figuring out the rate of all of those things. But yeah, like I get really excited about those things because I like it when it kind of breaks the monotony of making the same few things from my catalog, and then instead like working on something that's different and that is unique and for that person. So yeah, those are things that I look forward to when someone asks me like for something that is a little bit unusual. So yeah.
mm. Yeah, it must feel very fulfilling also, diba? Seeing your work, being in this case like worn, diba, by other
Yeah.
people, diba, influencers, diba?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's business for you, diba? Parang just seeing your
That's the
work,
future of
diba?
business. That's how you get in touch with people. Just
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
It's the influencers.
yeah, making
Yeah.
connections, building a community, and just
Yeah.
having fun, Kasi in a way, this is something you're passionate about. So, apart from getting connections, gaining income and all that, what's important is that, ano,
you're
you
doing it
have the
for you.
passion. Yeah, you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
Diba? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
with that said, so you want to ask like one final question. This is like a very, I don't know, a cliche question, but it's still very important. Do you have any advice you want to give to, you know, fellow business owners out there? You know, the ones starting out, the ones planning to start out, and all that. So, anything you can give.
Just do it.
Just
if you were
Nike.
Nike.
Nike, like if you're just thinking about doing it, like I think just do it. Like it's so much fun. Do your research, play with your product and experiment with all of those kinds of things. And yeah, just as long as you're making something that you're proud of, I don't think um there's anything that could like stop you from doing that. Just like a lot of work, but yeah, just go for it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Mm. Yeah, taking the leap talaga. You never know, what
Yeah.
can happen. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, great. Thank you for that advice.
Thank
Very
you.
well said and like compact.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like it's really nice because seeing like accounts that would like message me na, oh, like I would watch your TikToks and that kind of got me started also. So things
That's
like that.
nice.
Yeah. So it's just really heartwarming
Mm.
and so medyo sanay na ako to be like, oh, okay, like just here are a few things you should know. Go get it, all of those things. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Wholesome. We need more of that online. The
Yeah,
internet.
honestly, we're just one big community. Wala nang competition, honestly. Even with
Yeah.
businesses, it's really just helping each other to grow.
There's space for everyone, I think.
Yeah, that's why there's no need to kind of like push people out or neglect
Mm-hmm.
others, right? So as much as possible, we want to give as many businesses as we can the chance to get this kind of exposure. Because I mean,
Yeah.
our audience is a whole separate. Like even if you have similar friends, the people that we interview, like our audience is something that extra that we can help add on
Yeah.
to the exposure that these businesses get, and it's really just to show our like I don't know, I guess appreciation that the people our age are kind of starting to revolutionize the business world right now. It's
Yeah.
Definitely.
literally all our age, like everyone, like all the people
Mm-hmm.
we've interviewed so far in like the gap of like 20 to 24, 25. And
Yeah.
it's so amazing that to see all of these people like at this age, because usually they expect like to have your own business mga 30s pa, diba?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The world is evolving talaga. Online na kasi, diba? So, yeah.
Yeah. And you're never too young to like get into
Yeah.
it. You want to do
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All
look at Shark
those
Tank, right?
I
There's
know.
people who are
lemonade
like freaking
stands when
15
you were
years
a
old.
kid.
Yeah. There are 15-year-olds. And I'm like, wow, go get it. Oh, you don't need an allowance anymore. You have income.
Yeah, you make your own allowance.
You
You're the
make
one
your
who
own
give the
allowance.
allowance.
Who needs to do that?
You give the allowance.
You're the one who give the allowance.
You're the one that gives it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
yeah.
mean, thank you so much for being here with us today. This was
Yeah, thank you so
very
much too.
enlightening. Oh, I say enlightening every time it's a business segment, but it's so true because I was a marketing major, so seeing people like bring their businesses to life, it's like holy shit! Like what they're doing is actually working because it's reaching people, right? That's the whole key to business and everything. So as a fellow like businessy major, it's nice to see all of these businesses kind of blossoming right now, and especially coming from people in our generation. So thank
Mhm.
you so much for taking the
Thank you
leap and
so
thank you
much
for being
too.
here.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. This was really fun. Like I like it. And good luck with the rest of your shows too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, and
Yeah.
good luck with you and your business. Like it's
Mm.
gonna explode
Thank
pa
you.
more after this. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the hope. We're very good at manifesting in this platform. It works like a lot of the time. Manifest. It's gonna happen.
Mm.
Manifest. I believe.
Yes. But yeah, this has been another Down to Business segment of the Screw Up Show. Thank you to everyone who's watching. We'll see you guys in the next Screw Up Show segment.